Now, hundreds of Ethiopians have staged a protest outside the United States Embassy in Pretoria, South Africa. The demonstrators say they are against foreign interference in their home country. Their protest comes amid mounting international alarm over the escalating conflict in Ethiopia, with fighters from the Tigray People's Liberation Front advancing towards the capital.
I think that we are saying hand off USA from Ethiopia, hand off European Unions from Ethiopia. Ethiopia, he got his own authority, own government, that duly elected by the willing of Ethiopian people, that to lead the Ethiopian. So
we are here to denounce the impact or the interference of European and Americans in the internal affairs of Ethiopia, to say no more and please hands off from Ethiopia.
Well, Tigray Gabriel Michael joins me now to unpack this for us. Well, good to see you again, and thanks for your time. Looking at the crisis, it has been described as a diplomatic disagreement that snowballed into what the world is currently witnessing. Take us through what exactly this is about. Tigray.
Thank you for having me. So what happened is the federal government of Ethiopia, in partnership with the Eritrean government and other foreign forces, invaded Tigray, a constituent region in the Ethiopian Federation in November 2020. And the Tigrayans had since waged a guerrilla warfare and had defeated the federal army. And now the federal government had started going to Plan B. And Plan B is whipping up hatred against Tigrayans. And now the capital city, Addis Ababa, is flooded with people raging against Tigrayans and arresting civilian Tigrayans in the capital city. And it was interesting that you played a clip of Ethiopians in the US protesting against foreign interference in Ethiopia. They have a point, but they should be protesting against the government, because the government had invited foreign forces, the Eritreans and the United Arab Emirates and other forces, to attack its own people. And now the Tigray forces are on the brink of taking the capital city. And as a last-ditch effort, as a last resort, the government is trying to arm civilians, even 90 and 80 years old people in the capital city, to defend against the Tigray forces with machetes and other traditional weapons.
Particularly, but the world will be a little bit confused now listening to you, because also Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has also accused some foreign countries of funding the Tigrayan people. He's described as Tigrayan rebels. Whose side are we to believe now when we talk about interference in this crisis?
Well, that Eritrea and United Arab Emirates have been involved in the war from the get-go is a matter of public record. There isn't any reason to doubt that. Amnesty International has produced a report in December about heinous atrocities committed by Eritreans. And there has been a couple of reports over the past weeks about drones supplied by United Arab Emirates being used in Tigray now. So the fact that there has been foreign forces involved in the war on the side of the government is beyond any doubt. But the allegation that the Tigrayans have received any support from external forces is simply baseless. But the first point to make here is Tigray had been physically isolated from any access with international powers. So there is absolutely no mechanism for Tigray to have received any support from any external force. And there has been no international or no independent report about Tigrayan forces having received any support from external forces. The government has indeed made those allegations, but the Ethiopian government has been known to routinely lie for a living.
Well, at the moment, the rebels are marching towards the capital, Addis Ababa. And how would you rate their chances of taking over the capital?
Well, I think they are on the brink of taking the capital city now. I think it's a matter of when rather than if. And they are trying to capture the city in a cautious and very careful manner. They don't want to cause any physical damage to infrastructure or damage to civilians. As far as the federal army is concerned, it has totally been defeated. And that is actually one of the reasons why the prime minister, in a last-ditch effort, pretended to join the army to whip up the feeling of the public so that people could join the army. But now the Tigray forces and in partnership with Oromo Liberation Army forces, so these are forces from the southern region of the country, Oromia, the largest ethnic group in Ethiopia, have joined hands, and now they are on the negotiations that are being had now is about how to facilitate that process, how to do it in such a way that the amount of damage and other casualties is minimized.
Before I let you go, quickly, what's the situation about the women and children that have been caught in this crisis?
Well, so there has been horrific reports of gang rape against women in Tigray by Eritrean forces and by the Ethiopian defense forces. And the UN, in partnership with the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission, a state-appointed commission, has produced a highly watered down report, but even by the standard of the report produced, egregious crimes had been committed against Tigrayan women. And not only that, the government has blockaded Tigray so that nothing is getting into Tigray.